Russian man like inside the dark, call me Bill Snatcher. Just the brother for the rapture. I hang glide, holding on strong, hard to capture. Extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a gauntlet and start killing. It's manifesting. The God's work like appliances, dealing in my state like a lot.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Naruto Explain here, and today we're going to be having a very much needed explanation about the Boruto Naruto Next Generation story, in particular the anime, because it seems like every week I get the same question from multiple people on the anime reviews, which is, when is the anime going to get back to manga content? Now, at first, I thought that this was a pretty straightforward answer that everybody knew, but I'm seeing a lot of questions, and I'm getting a lot of DMs from people, so I want to go ahead and address this disconnect, and so I'm asking you now early on. Here's the call to action. Share this video with anybody who has a question on when we're going to get manga content, because I'm going to give you a definitive answer on what's going on in the anime right now. So getting right to it, we're going to be in anime canon content for a while, and for a while, I mean you're looking at all of 2022 and likely a majority of 2023, where most of the anime, if not all of the anime, is going to be anime original content. Now, I know that's something most people do not want to hear, but that's why people such as myself and the big homie Forever World have been saying for a while that this was going to be another repeat of OG Naruto, where once the anime got too close to the manga, the anime dropped almost 2 years worth of filler to give the manga more breathing room. To further build onto the Naruto example, in order to illustrate what's going on with Boruto, I'm going to give you guys a trip down history lane right now. So the last chapter of Naruto Part 1 was Naruto Chapter 238. It came out in fall 2004. The Naruto anime at that point in time was literally at the beginning of the Sasuke retrieval arc, where Sasuke and Naruto fought on top of the hospital rooftop, and you had that Chidori Rasengan scene with the water tank. During that time, Kishimoto built in a 3-month time skip into the story between the events of Naruto Chapter 237 and Naruto Chapter 238, which the anime, once it got to that scene where Jiraiya speaks to Naruto at the hospital, it proceeded to give us 80 episodes of filler. The reason why is by that point in time when the anime aired the episode where Jiraiya told Naruto once he leaves the hospital he'll take him to train, the manga was literally still in the Kazekage rescue arc, and at that point in time Naruto didn't even know that Gaara had died yet. For a bit of reference to further hammer this home, that's 23 chapters of material between the events of Naruto Chapter 237 and Naruto Chapter 260, which is roughly around where the manga was when Naruto episode 135, The Promise That Could Not Be Kept, aired on TV Tokyo for the first time. Filler had to be incorporated into the story by that point in time because that was roughly 12 episodes of material, and that's including Kakashi Gaiden's flashback chapters that dropped before the 2.5-year Naruto time skip, and that's assuming if you do 2 chapters per episode, since Naruto is a weekly manga, 16 to 19 pages. Boruto is a monthly manga, 40 pages. That's how you get the breakdown. Now, right now, Boruto's in a very similar situation. In fact, due to Boruto being a monthly series, it's actually worse. And I'm going to explain to you why. Right now, as of this recording on March 30th, if the anime were to start adapting the manga, literally right now, picking up on the back half of Boruto Chapter 56, where we see Boruto after he's already taken the chakra pills and he's meeting with Kawaki on top of the Hokage monument, there would literally only be 12 episodes of content if you adapted 1 chapter per episode, and we'd be on a cliffhanger, which if you read the manga or you watch my Boruto Chapter 68 review, you know that that's a serious cliffhanger and not an appropriate place to end the series. So you should see the issue here. There's not enough manga content for the anime to adapt, and the manga has not reached the point where there's enough breathing room for the anime to begin adapting the next major arc in the story, which manga readers know there's a lot of insane stuff that takes place with Boruto and Kawaki and Code. We got a couple of brand new characters who've been introduced who are extremely powerful. There's a lot going on right now. There's also the return of another character that you were introduced to in the story. There's a lot going on that you're going to be excited about. We're in the same place in the story where Boruto's anime was very early on, and I think people forget this. So let's take another walk down memory lane right now. So Remember when Boruto episode 1 came out and the story was stuck in the academy for 40 episodes? Basically a whole year in the Boruto anime where they barely adapted anything from manga content, with the only manga content being adapted being the flash forward sequence where Boruto versus Kawaki happened, the anime adaptation of Masashi Kishimoto's manga, Naruto Gaiden, the 7th Hokage and the Scarlet Spring, i.e. the Shin Uchiha arc, and then you had the Mitsuki one-shot chapter that was adapted. That was a chapter Masashi Kishimoto drew as a bonus chapter of Boruto manga volume 1. Everything else that we see that was adapted from the Academy arc to the Hidden Miss Field Trip arc was pretty much Boruto light novels that were placed into the anime. The reason being is pretty simple. When Boruto episode 1 dropped in April 2017, the Boruto manga had been out for less than 1 year, and the manga was literally starting the Mujina Bandits arc as the first chapter of that arc had just dropped. That's why we didn't get to the versus Momoshiki arc in the anime until a full year after the anime started, because the manga needed time to cook up new content. The 10 chapters of content that you got when you add in the anime original episodes only comes out to being 15 episodes of Boruto anime content from episode 51 to 66. Then the anime had to go back to doing anime original arcs and novel adaptations like the Mitsuki Desertion arc and the Konoha Shinden Steam Ninja Scrolls novel in order to give the manga more breathing room, because by that point in time, the manga was literally at the Kawaki versus Goro fight, which is only 15 chapters of content, and if the anime kept doing manga content, the anime would either have to pause, which wouldn't have been an option due to the fact that Boruto's anime makes a lot of money, or it would have to go the route of Dragon Ball Super, where the anime goes ahead of the manga. That's why we got Boruto anime original arc. Now, between July 2018 and March of 2020, the Boruto anime barely covered any manga content. It did anime original arcs, it adapted small scenes from the manga and mixed those scenes into anime canon episodes, or it adapted light novels because the anime was waiting for more content to be dropped by the manga. By that point in time, when the anime decided to adapt the Mujina Bandits arc into the anime story, the Boruto manga was at the chapter where Amato defected to Konoha and requested to speak to Shikamaru after placing a bomb on Shikadai's neck. That amounted to there being 33 chapters of material between where the Boruto manga had currently been and where the last anime manga adaptation had stopped at. As a reminder, right now as of this recording, we only have 12 chapters of material between where the anime currently is and where the manga is right now. Boruto is a monthly manga, which is why I've been pretty consistent in saying I don't think we're going to get manga content in the anime for at least a year at a minimum. 1 year from now would mean that there's 24 chapters of material for the anime to do, basically 24 episodes, and then you would have extra content that the anime would do. That's 9 chapters less than what they did last time they waited, which may or may not mean that we be a few chapters into our time skip in the manga, depending on how much longer this current arc lasts. Studio Pierrot is going to want to wait for this current manga arc to be wrapped up, and likely a second arc in the manga after this before they even begin to adapt the current stuff with Code and Ada in the manga. And honestly, that makes a lot of sense. Does this mean that we won't get any Boruto manga content before now? No, but if we do, I wouldn't bet on anything more than a few scenes here or there, or the events of Boruto chapter 58 just being straight up adapted into the anime. Does this mean that the anime is going to go on a pause? I don't think so, and there are 2 reasons. One, the Boruto anime right now is making more than Naruto's anime did, and Boruto's anime property does not have video games and that type of stuff with it. They've got the mobile stuff, but nothing like the console games and etc. And up until last year, the Boruto anime was TV Tokyo's highest grossing and highest net earning property. It's a cash cow. It's just business. The second reason is that the studio staff for Studio Pierrot for the Boruto anime had a blog after the episode where Kurama died aired, and in that blog, towards the bottom of it, they stated that after working for 50 episodes of content, they were glad to be off such a grueling schedule and going to take a bit of a break. Studio Pierrot did step in and work on some stuff, but there was a break for a lot of those animators. because episodes 216 to episode 218 required the most work out of any 3-episode stretch in the entire Naruto franchise. And in that same blog, they stated that they would get to adapting some of the novels set in Boruto while the anime waited for the manga to get more material. Just one of the issues they are running into is the fact that those Naruto novels set in the Boruto era typically focus on the old generation, and because they have to find a way to incorporate the new generation, they would have to get creative, but that was something they would look at doing at least on a yearly basis. Right now, we've had a tuning exams arc, we've had a few transitions arc, and right now we're in our first long-running anime original arc. Shueisha is releasing manga versions of 2 Naruto light novels set in the Boruto era that are being released on Jump Plus sometime this year. Given one of those manga is based off of a novel already adapted into the anime, the Konoha Steam Ninja Scrolls novel, I wouldn't put it past the anime to adapt the second novel being turned into a manga this year, which is the Sasuke Sarada novel. The same with the other Naruto novels set in the Boruto era, which I have a whole playlist on the homepage of my YouTube channel dedicated to covering Naruto era novels and Boruto era novels, which I recommend checking out if you want more information about what those stories entail. Now, before anyone starts typing, "But Naruto explained, the timeline doesn't work, they can't adapt those, you're so silly, you're not thinking this out," I'll just remind you of this right here. Studio Pierrot, in the past, they've made changes to anime adaptations of the novels during Naruto Shippuden's run, which if you're familiar with my Kryptonian Saiyan channel, you know I absolutely hated what they did. And they've also made changes to the Naruto novels set in the Boruto era that the Boruto anime has adapted. Remember Konoha Steam Ninja Scrolls, where Mirai was a bodyguard for Kakashi and Might Guy and she fought that Jashin cult leader? That novel took place directly after Naruto chapter 700. Which is set 1 year before the Shin Uchiha arc. The anime adapted that novel after Momoshiki attack, which means that a story where Boruto should have been in the academy was suddenly taking place when Boruto had already taken the Chunin exams. Timeline isn't an issue because small tweaks will be made to fit the anime timeline, as they've always done. The same goes for any of the Retsun novels if those are adapted. Naruto no longer has Biju Chakra. It can't work. That's a key to the story. And I will say, if they can change something as major as Shisui's Mangekyo Sharingan Awakening in the Itachi novels and give his circumstances to Fugaku, who was never directly confirmed in that novel to have a Mangekyo, though it was implied, and have Itachi killing his lover, something that the Naruto manga directly stated would happen. Obito said Itachi killed his lover, and they changed that to Obito killing Izumi. I don't see a problem here. This is not new territory. You can make your tweaks to the story elements to fit the anime timeline. They've done it before. They're gonna do it again. Hell, they do it when they adapt the manga. They change certain events, and newsflash, they've done that even with Naruto's manga. However, that's all I wanted to say here, so share this video with anyone you think needs to hear why the anime is doing anime original content right now. I tried to be as thorough as possible on this, and hopefully this can break ground in this conversation on what's going on. So thanks for watching. We'll call this like a State of the Union address for the Boruto anime. As always, guys, like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.